Georgia's got a ton of pressure on them, and Kirby Smart is, man, after last week's loss, I don't know, man. They usually rebound well, but he's got to have these boys fired up and ready to go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beardzone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos. I got Scooter with me tonight. And tonight we are going to be looking at the college football world. But before we get into all of that and talk about the craziness of what might be the playoffs this college football year, do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as that is the best way to continue to support us as we grow this college season. Gentlemen, we have a game this week that we're definitely going to dive into, and I want to get right into it. We got Georgia, we got Tennessee, SEC matchup right now, and we were talking a little bit about it off air. So we're saying whoever wins, because we still have Texas and Texas A&M here in a couple of weeks, right? Georgia, they just lost to Ole Miss, so they got bumped down. Tennessee's looking pretty good. But do they have enough to take out Georgia? I mean, Georgia is still a team that it seems like they'll win the games that matter, and then the games that are just kind of like they should be blowout wins, they end up losing. So, but are we thinking that whoever is the loser of this game is out of the picture for the SEC championship?
I think it boils down to Carson Beck playing football for once. He's turned the ball over more times than Jameis Winston has in the NFL in like a matter of 3 or 4 weeks. His accuracy is atrocious. To think he wanted to come back for a Natty and a Heisman Trophy and being number 1 draft pick or whatever, that's out the window at this point. Georgia's completely relying on their defense. Their defense is spectacular. I'm not saying it's not. But you have Tennessee who can score at will, regardless if it's Nico or their backup guy. I would like to see if Nico actually plays because I think he took a rib shot late in the game last week. So Heupel's offense, super high-powered. Their defense, I would say, is all right. Their only loss is at Arkansas by 5 points, where Georgia's 2 losses, you kind of played like crap against Alabama, and then you just got boat raced last week by Ole Miss of all people, right? So I think if you look at the Tennessee-Georgia game, the winner of this, I'm pretty sure Carlos is going to agree with me, the winner of this game has a lock, maybe with the exception of Georgia because there's some weird scenarios with the A&M and Texas game. If Georgia wins, they're kind of a lock. But if Tennessee's already at the top already with only 1 loss to Arkansas, and their rest of schedule is cake at that point because Vandy doesn't have Pavia anymore. So if Tennessee wins, 100% lock for SEC championship game, and more power to them. It's a long time coming. And then if Georgia wins, I want to say they're like an 80% lock because if you look at the other game at the end of the season, you get Texas and Texas A&M, and they're only 1 loss in the conference too. But A&M has the worst loss of those 2.
Yeah.
It's a big game for Tennessee, man. Tennessee's got a lot riding on this game even when it comes to recruiting. They're having a heck of a recruiting week too. But yeah, they win, they're in. They get to face, which could be another rematch against Georgia, but I don't think that's going to happen. Georgia has to win this game if that fan base wants to see another Natty. They're going to have to pull this game off, and I mean, Tennessee's playing well. Their defense is playing pretty well. Offense is good. I mean, Georgia does have this at home, so that's in favor of them. But Tennessee hasn't seen a defense like this yet. This defense is carrying them, like you guys said. The problem that they have is Carson Beck. The guy can't stop throwing interceptions. And the guy who was the number one pick in the draft at the beginning of the year, who is no longer that guy, man, he is killing them. They've got a good they've got a good offense. Like he should be able to protect the ball. This was a pro ready guy who's really been exposed. But if they can't get it together this week, I don't see them. I mean, even if they carry them, but can they go and repeat that performance against Texas? Like they're not going to sneak up on Texas. Texas will be ready for them if they win. And A&M's just playing good, man. A&M's got a solid team all the way around, man. They're since that early loss, they have been like, hold my beer, boys. We're going. So Georgia's got a ton of pressure on them. And Kirby Smart is, man, after last week's loss, I don't know, man. They usually rebound well, but he's got to have these boys fired up and ready to go. But we'll see, man. Tennessee's fan base has been waiting a long, long time to see the Orange and White in the bowl game.
Definitely.
Significance. Just being an SEC significance. Like, man, I don't even know how far you go back. Peyton Manning days? Like, it's been a while.
It's been a good haul for the Tennessee fan base, and so they are going to be glued to their televisions this Saturday when their team faces the Georgia Bulldogs. That's the thing with Georgia. I mean, we talk about their defense. Could you imagine with the way that Carson Beck is playing? I almost said Carson Wentz, but with Carson Beck and how he's been playing, like if they actually didn't, if they struggled on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, these guys could have another, 2 or 3 games in the loss column with just how bad Carson Beck has been throwing that ball.
Easily.
He's got 9 interceptions in the last 4 games, which is
12 total.
Yeah, I mean, that's horrible.
Terrible.
And to touch base on what Scooter said really quick, Nico, he looks like he's going to be playing. So the coach is very optimistic that he will be out there to go against Georgia. So should be a very interesting. Scooter, I know that you wanted to touch base on something. What do you got?
Dude, so I know we're talking about quarterbacks and defense, and I think both sides of the ball plays pretty solid defense, as we've seen over the course of this year. And passing game has been clicking or complete turnovers, and I think Tennessee wins the air raid there. But if you actually look at their offenses, what you see is a complete swap of what was Georgia football, the run game, and the change of Tennessee football being more run now. I can't remember, is it Sampson for Tennessee? Absolute beast, running it up the gut. And Heupel loves to run dive plays. I know he does a lot of read option with Nico and some quick screens, wide receivers screens. But if you watch, there's a lot of flare passes to the running back, a lot of dive plays, a run-heavy focus, where Georgia, Trevor Etienne went from stellar running back to getting like average of 2 yards a carry now. And Kirby Smart's got to figure it out with the run game in Texas. You get like 3 5-star running backs, and you can't get more than 2 yards a carry. Carson Beck has been running better than he's passing, so but he's not like Tim Tebow or Johnny Manziel back there. He's turning the ball over, and your run game has been suffering. So your defense, which is still A+, has been trying to carry your freaking team every single week, and they've kept them in the game. But I just think Tennessee looks a lot cleaner and more holistic on offense than Georgia has for sure in the past 3 to 4 games. Yeah, they beat Texas. You showed up for 1 out of the 4 games. And turning the ball over, fumbles, and interceptions from Carson Beck is not how they're going to win. I think Kirby Smart needs to seriously put some power behind the run game to give him some leeway and some flexibility with some play action. And that said, he's been getting wrecked like Joe Burrow back there for at least the past 2 weeks. He's been hit, hurried, sacked, you name it. But I think the run game here is very crucial.
Yeah, and Tennessee's on a 4-game win streak, so they got some momentum. Man, it's just going to be playing on the road in the SEC, like Kirby said earlier, going against Kentucky when they almost blew it. Going on the road in SEC is not an easy task, so they're going to have to deal with the Georgia fans, and it's gonna be a good game. It just holds so much significance. Like if Tennessee wins, you get all that light. Okay, now it's just really down to Texas A&M, assuming everybody wins their games they're supposed to. But if Georgia wins, now we're like, Jesus, now back in the melting pot here. Like, what the heck's going to happen? But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good one. I actually look forward to this one. I'm not a big SEC guy, but I'm looking forward to how this shakes out.
Should be a really good game this Saturday, and it's a night game, so should be. I mean, yeah, it should just be a really good game. I'm pulling for Tennessee though, man. I like the underdog. I like the underdog, and I like to see things shaken up. Carlos, you shared a picture in the group chat just before the recording about how ESPN has their prediction of the national championship game, and it's going to be Oregon versus your Miami Hurricanes. Which, I mean, honestly, I would be okay with that championship game because I feel like that would be just a high scoring game, and I would love to see Cam Ward go up against Oregon. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's on the internet. It has to be true.
It has to be true. Oh, 100%. If
I posted it on my Facebook, so it is 100% true now.
Oh, see, you even doubled down on it by posting reposting it on Facebook.
Yeah.
So good for you. Good for securing your spot or your team spot in the national championship game this year. So, but yeah, man, big game, has a lot of weight behind it. And fellas, we have just a couple more weeks, and then we're into the playoff picture for the college season. And really, we have 3 significant games coming up. So we have this week, we have Tennessee, Georgia. Next week, we have the Big Ten game versus Ohio State and Indiana, which and it's a noon. Why is it a noon game?
Because it's Indiana.
Because it's Indiana. Historically, Indiana's been really trash. So
if Bobby Knight was coaching, if Bobby Knight was coaching that team, it'd be a 7 p.m. game on national ABC. But it's still Indiana at the end of the day.
Bring back Bobby Knight. We need Bobby Knight back.
Indiana's also been scoring probably better than 99% of college teams, man. Like, and they're playing some good ball.
They're good. They are. They're good. They're good football.
Their coach came from, was it Coastal Carolina or Eastern Carolina or something like that? I think it's Coastal Carolina, and he's like, all I've been doing is win at each program. And I was like, all right, okay. Toot your own horn, bro. But
fair enough.
But if you look at his record, like, he just comes in and transforms programs completely. And OSU, if you're Ryan Day and you lose to Indiana, your contract's over. I'm just throwing that out there. And then your whole Big Ten championship, you lose to Indiana as OSU, you're not going to the playoff at all. Like, no. Penn State automatically moves above you because they're not playing anybody.
You're not going to go to the championship game to face Oregon either.
No, they're whoever wins that game gets to play Oregon. Yeah. That's probably the easiest conference. Whoever wins that plays Oregon, and then those teams I think automatically get the bid to go in, no matter who wins that game. It's just who determines who gets the bye week after from that game.
Well, an ACC guy saying Big Ten's the easiest conference. Who would have thought? I wanted to call that.
I didn't say it was the easiest conference. It has the easiest outlook right now of wins. Now, is it a bunch of joke teams in there? Yes, they are. I mean, I hope Indiana beats them by 30. There's nothing better than a Miami fan after being robbed of a national championship and going back-to-back from Ohio State in this phantom 5 minute later. Like, Miami was literally celebrating on the field for like 2 minutes, and then a flag gets thrown. I don't know how that.
It was the Tressel era, so there's a lot of skepticism there.
The reason the flag came in late is because the ref wanted to recount the money just to make sure, because it looked off. And then he verified, yes, it's right.
Similar to 15 to 10 million votes just randomly showing up. Yeah, same thing. Got it.
Yeah. That game was so bad. That game was so bad that there were Miami starters that couldn't find their helmets, that couldn't get back on the field. because they'd thrown their helmets. So,
Well, they were too busy murdering people. That's probably why.
well, I mean, their OSU fans were on the field. What do you? I mean,
Between
okay.
the cocaine, the bribery, and the murder, yeah, it's all.
We're not talking about the Gators.
College football at its peak, right there, I think, is what we just described to you, ladies and gentlemen. College football at its absolute peak. So, well, we have a lot of games coming up this week, and we're going right into the playoffs. I mean, it's bittersweet knowing that the end is almost here, but also knowing that the games that really truly matter are right around the corner as well. So, but we'll be rocking it this entire college football season. So do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so then that way, and turn on the notification bell. You don't want to miss it. Every Wednesday, 9 a.m., we will be bringing you guys all of our college football insights, just like we have today. Follow us on all of our social medias. We are on Facebook, Twitter, or X, and Instagram. And yeah, definitely go ahead and give us a follow there. We love to banter with everyone. Won't always agree, but hey, we appreciate your opinion. But definitely give us a follow there. And until next Wednesday,
Beardzone out.